What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor Dark Joker, here with another edition of Traditional Fans with Opinions, where I'll give my reviews for whoever I watched, read, or played today. And who are Traditional Fans with Opinions? That is myself, and that is you, the viewers. With all that being said, on with the reviews. My Hero Academia Season 8, Episode 11, full season and full series. So in this episode, there's some young kid who basically he has some quirk, like it's very dark, like basically. So he walks out, there's like run down the house. Basically, his mouth was like knitted shut or whatever. Basically, whatever his quirk is, like his family was like ashamed of it. So basically, his family was, I guess, some elite family, so very high up. So they were unhappy. They basically So if you've watched One Piece, like how Sanji was hidden in a cell because of his father was ashamed of him. Basically, that's what happens to the kid. He's basically locked in, like he basically locked his room. So like, and his family, and he was the only one. So he was abandoned when all the fighting was going on. He walks out, he's angry, and then the old lady who, kind of so in if you remember the Shigaraki flashback, him as a kid, you had this old lady that walked up to him saying that a hero will come by and help him. Basically, apparently, that whole incident kept her up at night because she was worried if a hero did come by to help him, which you know took a few years, but Deku like saved his soul, whatever. You know, so she decided to take matters to her own hands and help the kid, and basically that caused the kid to calm down. His court to calm. So Deku and Uravity saw it happen. Guess they were ready. They were prepared to intervene if the kid's quirk got out of control. So the kid went with the old lady. Then you see a flash forward. So you see Deku's now a teacher at UA, and Koda is like a student there. I guess he's one of his. He's one of Deku's students. So he's actually going to UA. And Aries, a singer. I guess she has like a little band or whatever. And you see that all the UA students they've done. They're fighting crime, but they're also doing side. So since the villain emergences have been decreasing, so you have Ochiko, so you have Gravity and Froppy are like helping with like court counseling. You know, you have like you have like was it Octop Tentapole, like Tentacle where like he's like helping like he's helping with so you had some of the basically so how like in some of the rural areas you have like those who are I guess they have quirks. They don't look human, so like they look like animals or monsters, or whatever. Like some of the basically so discrimination against them. He helps speak out against that, and then you have everyone of course has some endorsement deals. Like it's funny you had you have dude it is so funny. You have Tsukuyomi like he has like a perfume named after him. So does like Invisible Girl. Like it's so funny. That bit was. I was like, okay, transparency of her and dark. I was like, really, Tokonami, you have freaking perfume, and so you have so Eraserhead's still a teacher, and you have Mount Lady, Mirko are still heroes. Shoto is rising in like in ranking. So Inganium has he's taken over his brother's Pro Hero Agency, and apparently his brother, due to support items, was able to return to hero work, basically support him. So you had they see them working together, and you have everyone. So like Red Riot's like a basically become like very popular amongst men. Like and you have Ashido like has basically she's got popular and Mineta he tried to go independent and didn't work out well for him. Sarah's doing fine. So like all you have all these like they having good careers. So like during the credits you see like so what happens to each of them. Like even Aoyama like becomes a hero. And that's like a new thing that I think that was added on in the anime. I like that. And so Deku like he's like so he's walking around he sees this kid who wants to be a hero, but his quirk I guess is some of the may not be suited for hero work. And so Deku like he goes to the UA statue a lot. When he thinks about like his classmates, basically they haven't been able to see each other a lot due to everyone's busy. It was like I think they do try to like see each other every once in a while. And so the kid like talks to him, asks if he could be, and so Deku remembers what All Might said to him, and he tells the kid he can't be a hero. And then when he's walking to UA, All Might appears, and so and there's one bit where he's like, where they show like everyone graduated. Is like, why are we continuing on this? And he's like, there's still runtime left in the episode. That bit was funny. So then when it looks like it's about to end, All Might says not. He comes with this armor based off of different quirks, or whatever, that for Deku to use to actually get back into hero work. And so there's like something going on. So you see Deku reunite with all of his classmates to go deal with the problem. And there's some funny stuff. Dynamite, due to his personality, you know, has some issues staying popular. Not no surprise from anyone. Like I don't think it was Lemillion's the number one ranked hero right now, which makes you wonder if that's what Night Eyes if Lemillion being the number one rank is what Night Eyes saw when he died. Like which gosh that scene. Yeah. And so yeah, so and it says the credits it says our story continues. So there's rumors of an OVA. I don't know. I don't believe at the time of recording this. I do not believe anything's been officially confirmed yet. Not to my knowledge, because you have chapter 431, which was only included in the volume like format. Because sometimes you have chapters that there's like some epilogue chapters that some manga they only include in volume format, not in like show and jump. And chapter for My Hero Academia, chapter 431 was like that. And so some people think they'll do an OVA, also show more of their work as Class A's work as pros. Because I want to extra show them as pro heroes. Like like a My Hero Academia pro hero. That would be a great movie. And like personally, I prefer it be like doing like with how, the praise this season got. Like do a freaking movie. Like I think it would do pretty well. Now it will not be Demon Slayer numbers, but I think it would still do pretty well. But as far as this season goes, I think it was. I like this episode. I thought it was a great episode, great finale. Yeah, when it released in the manga, there's there were some people had issues with it. I was fine with it. I think it had animation, voice acting, music to it. I think it does improve upon it. And do playing like Hero 2, like the song from season 4, the school fest, like during the graduation scene for I was like, dang. I was like, respect that. Or like that I was like, that's good. And so yeah, like I want a pro hero story with them, show actually everyone as pro heroes. And I think that I thought this episode was great, like a great series finale. I thought the whole season was good. Like just a great overall final season. Great way to end the show. What like as far as the show, my opinion, it's the best superhero show of the decade. Like in the 2020s, I do not believe there is a better superhero TV show at all. Like in the 2010s, it was definitely up there as one of the best. Like, because obviously there were plenty of there were some a lot of good superhero shows in the 2010s. Daredevil, was a really good show. Like, basically, between 2010s, I would say you could say it's between My Hero Academia and Daredevil is was the best superhero show of the 2010s. And yeah, so like I think that this was a great show. Like one of the like it is an incredible anime. Like I mean I mean it's just great. Like it's definitely end of an era. Like we're coming to an end of an era where a lot of our classic shonen anime franchises are ending. You know, My Hero Academia is just the latest one to end. Black Clover's coming back. That's going to be big. Jujutsu Kaisen still has a little bit to go. Of course, One Piece still has a while to go. Bleach Thousand Year One War, Blood War has another season. Like it is an end of an era. Like we are coming towards it, and in superheroes, I don't know if we're gonna have another show at My Hero Academia's level again. I don't think we'll have another show that will be as good as My Hero Academia. I don't think so. Not with the and thing is, when Marvel and DC basically went to crap, like especially the comic book side, My Hero Academia filled that void. And in television and movies, yeah, Marvel DC had their good years, but then it went bad. Do you know what filled the void during a lot of that? My Hero Academia. Like people still want superheroes, and My Hero Academia was the best superhero show of the decade. Like four really good movies. You have some OVAs. I've seen like a few of the OVAs. Like I'm trying to remember how. Like I saw a few of them. The OVAs are good. But this show, like the show, like my it was just a great show. Great manga, great anime. Like it deserves all the respect in the world. Like thank you Koei Horikoshi for making a great series. Like it's like one of the best superhero shows ever made. Spy Family season 3 episode 11. So in this episode, so Anya's going to the zoo with Becky and Martha. What then Yor wakes up. After Yor wakes up, basically she's still a little hungover, and basically while he's talking to her, basically he's wondering why she's drunk, and basically basically yours like wait, is there gripes? And she's like saying she's not happy, and then Yuri comes and right as she says it, and Yuri's like, "What did you do to my sister?" And now Yuri has issues with regards to you know I mean Yuri has some issues, like he's very much into Yor. It's weird, like I mean like Yor is a very attractive, but like Yuri. I'm like Yuri, that's your freaking sister. Don't freaking do that crap. And Lloyd's like, what did I do? I'm like, Lloyd thinking the whole thing is like that is like that is the life of a man in a nutshell. We don't know what we did. I was like, Lloyd's like, he's like, I'll apologize. And Lloyd's like, oh, what you apologize? Lloyd's like, what did I do? Like, what did I do? Like it's like we don't know what we did wrong. We just say we're sorry. I'm like, wow, Lloyd understood. Like, I was like, man, it is it is for like for probably for a lot of men out there, that might be the most relatable one of the most relatable scenes in all of anime. Was Lloyd not trying to apologize but not knowing what he did wrong, if he did anything wrong. And then like basically Lloyd gets a call from the hospital, basically from Wise saying and that's why so Lloyd tells Jordan they'll talk about things whenever he gets back. So he leaves, and Yuri has the idea of having him and Yor follow Lloyd. Yor's still a little drunk, so she's like, okay. And so while he's in the hospital, he notices that they're following him, and then Yuri gets a emergency summons from the SSS. So he tells Yor that he has a report he has to do, and Yuri continues following. She gets hospital, follows, and then she completely sobers up. She's like, "Wait, it's fine to have no gripes." So she goes back. Lloyd's confused, like, "What the heck?" He's like, "What the heck?" So he talks to Nightfall. It's revealed that agent named Wheeler, um, was basically there was a mole within Wise for the SSS. It's revealed that Wheeler was the mole, and that but by the time they figured it out, he had already disappeared with intel on some of Wise's operations, including Operation Strix. So Wise is trying to capture Wheeler. Then the SSS is trying to get him and his intel from. And so, once you had the mean, so basically, so when they get there, so Twilight impersonates as Wheeler and goes to the mean spot, and then well, it's revealed in the end that it's Twilight. So Lyra's trying to figure out what's going on. So he's about to head there, and then one of the things that happened then at SSS one of their headquarters, this Wise's mole's arrested. Basically, the sign that it was that for Wheeler to actually be Wheeler, not Twilight, was the color of the pin on the tie, and so basically, and so Wise learned about what the signal was going to be. That was actually, but thing is, so it's revealed that the color of the pendant, whatever, the different colors were told to different people, and that whichever color Wise, you used to impersonate for Twilight to impersonate Wheeler, that was gonna be that was how they're gonna figure out who Wise is, like inside man was within SSS. So that guy's arrested, and so then basically, and so and Wheeler killed some Wise agents, and then so Twilight's surrounded by SSS people, so obviously stuff's heating up, and those who have read the manga chapters with this arc, that's big deal, so that's the next big spy arc, you know, and then in the credits it shows Anya and Becky at the zoo, so they're seeing animals. Anya thinks they're there to hunt animals, so she has rope and stuff with her, and it's funny. So then they see the animals, and they see a cage empty. They walk inside. It's a joke. So it's revealed to be a cage showing humans. They describes humans very blunt, and Becky's like, "What?" He's like, "I'm gonna blow this place away with a tank," and Anya's like, "There's the monster." It's so funny. But yeah, I thought this was I thought this was a really good episode. It's funny seeing your it's just funny. So I thought this was a good episode. It was great to see how great to see it. I thought it was great. So yeah, I really like this episode. Looking forward to the next one. Kingdom, season 6, episode 11. So in this episode, the Phasian force arrives at the left flank of the battle, where Ming Tin, Min Tien is at. So so basically they're assigned. Shin's assigned to kill Ji Hui, so who's the one of the leaders there. So basically, while the Shin's tr- or the Phasian force is trying to head towards him to kill him, So Limu and his like basically his posse kills basically they sneak around and they kill Ma Quan, who's basically Wang Jian's second command. Like they should kill him, kill Ma Quan, kill one of the others, his one of his subordinates. Basically, like they just kill him and go, and like everyone's like the frick, and so like it screws up morale. Basically, it's a strategy he does where he does that because no one expects the general to do something like that. So he does that to like screw with morale to make it easier for Zhao to win battles. So basically, a lot of Ma Quan's forces they start getting killed. Like the tide of battle's like going really bad. Shin sees Limu, and basically when basically so Jihu yells that Limu had killed Ma Quan, and then Shin sees Limu and chases after him by himself. Then the rest of the Fei force follows him. So they're chasing the basically Limu's posse. They start getting towards him, but they're being led towards the woods where ambush is potential waiting for them. And basically, Dao is telling Shin to basically pull back when they need to get out of there. Pulls out the Wayne Yi's poleaxe and tells Limu that he will use that to kill him. Limu's shocked at seeing that poleaxe, so then Shin goes back. They get back to the battlefield where they come across Tien and trying to figure out what's going like how they're gonna handle it. So Tien has an idea of how to do it. They're gonna get in there. So they get through the battlefield, get to the where the surviving command officers are at, like whoever's in command of Ma Quan's force is at. So basically, made Tien like just yell like basically gets on for basically letting morale get bad. Says like that basically Ma Quan's force is they are some of the best soldiers in the Qin army. That they should be able to handle this. And he said so. What happens is Shin like carries a flag, goes to the belt, yells at Ma Quan's alive, and basically that's supposed to help like deal with morale. And so we'll see how that happens next episode. So yeah, I really like this episode. You have Shin coming across Lee Mu again. Basically a long rival, really since like the end of season one. Basically, it's been a long rivalry. Like Shin's been wanting to kill Lee Mu for a while, and so you see like, and like basically like so like that. It's been a long like thing like basically it's a long rivalry. Like Shin's like basically so wow so then while this is going so basically they're saying like this is a big rivalry so so obviously they're saying up the like basically what happens with him. So we'll see like what so I thought this was a really good episode. The way they handled Limu just being how he is, like it was really cool. And how like and Shin, how basically it looks like they're saying of him as like Shin like rallying like the Ma Quan force, like like saying that up, which will obviously help him if they're able to turn the tide and win this battle. You know, basically, which based does how history goes, they should. So and then basically that should be, and that'll probably set Shin becoming like a general. And then this I really like this episode. Looking forward to the next one. To Your Eternity, season 3, episode 11. So in this episode, so Fushi tries to kill the knocker inside of Izumi's body, but when basically due to Mizuho like and basically wants to free Mizuha from the knocker. So, but after seeing like them all in pain, or seeing the knocker cry, he can't bring himself to kill the knocker, so he goes away. Yuki suggests that for Fushi to find a more peaceful solution, and so then Izumi's spirit tells Bond. Bond relays it to Fushi, Yuki, and the Beholder about Izumi's past. So Izumi says that she was raised as part of the Guardians. She didn't want to be part of it. She didn't like it. When her mother died, she was meant to be the next head of the cult. She basically it was basically right as her mother's funeral. She's shown like her fiance, like she's creeped out by him, and she just runs off, and that's like the final show. She runs away, meets someone, meets Mizo's father, marries him, and then obviously has Mizuha. And like when her father like arrives to meet the basically Mizuha as like a baby, like Izumi like runs away, like doesn't want like like basically doesn't want her father involved, and so then like when she wants Mizo to not be part of the group, not be so she wants Mizo to be succeed in everything, and like not for the sake of being the Guardian's 18th head, but basically just like running like she wants Mizo to be the best she can be, just and but so that's why she pushes Mizo hard because she doesn't want Mizo to be tied down to the Guardians, and causes her stress. So Izumi starts having like memory issues, or whatever. Now, one they haven't revealed that the Mizo's father mentions that she'd be great to be the like for Mizo to be the 18th like clan's head, and Izumi's like, what? So it's revealed that Mizo's father was a member of the Guardians, and basically been keeping it quiet. And he claims that like if he basically it was just a coincidence. Like he said that he actually cares for Izumi. He wasn't concerned too much about the clan. Like basically, I think it's like he'd be fine if Mizuha took over the Guardians, but he seems he's more concerned about Mizuha than the Guardians. So when Izumi's like pushing Mizuha, he's like basically he's like, hey, have you thought of just raising Mizuha for Mizuha's sake? Like, don't push her to do everything because of all the health stuff. So like she passes, and so she says she wants to die, and that allows the knocker to get inside of her. So so that causes the memory issue. And it's real that the memory issues were caused by the knocker. So like she had some, and basically when she ends up in like her father's house, and she doesn't remember too much about like these trophies that Mizo won, and then she wanted to free Mizo from the knockers, from the basically the threat of the knockers, or whatever. And then and then like of course she got stabbed, she was killed, and um, hmm, then you see like she like I guess passes on to paradise, or whatever. Like seemingly passes on to paradise. She wants as long as Misha is happy, she doesn't care what happens to the knockers. It's basically what she relays. Fushi just wants to free her, Mizo from the knocker, and so basically, but hopefully there's a peaceful solution. And then so you see Mija's so the knocker like controls Mizo's arm, and so Mizo realizes that the knocker is inside of her, and so like out. So yeah, I thought this was a good episode. We saw more about like Izumi's background, explained more so how the so basically the Guardians were still in effect openly in the world. I thought they were underground, like they were more quiet, but like so obviously like so the House of basically the descendants of Hayase, like continue leading the Guardians, basically saying that the knockers could return, like that the knocker that was inside Hayase could return, basically one day if if necessary. And so and it's revealed that that knocker is the leader of the knockers, I guess, believed to be the leader of the knockers on Earth. And so that basically, if there's a peaceful solution, Fushi has to talk with the knocker inside Mizuha. So that also is going to set up, how are they going to handle conflict, like basically how to deal with the evil knockers and the good knockers. Because it's implied there's some ones that just want to live their lives and then those die of old age. So yeah, I like this episode. Look forward to the next one. Interesting how Fushi has to deal with the knockers. Tojima wants to be a Kamen Rider, episode 11. So in this episode, so in the final match of the little tournament where, uh, so Yuriko Okada or Tackle goes up against Mitsuba, aka Rider Man. Basically, they fight, and and so Yuriko gets like Mitsuba in like a headlock or whatever, and to get out of it, uh, Mitsuba has to get out of his Rider Man mask, and basically, Yuriko basically says shame they did that, and so she beats him, and then then Yukarisu like gets in their shocker form, tries to attack Yuriko to like quote avenge Mitsuba, but she's knocked out pretty quickly. Then Yuriko's like, all right, I beat him. She points to everyone she beat. Basically, she's beating up everyone except for Ichio. Then she challenges Ichio, and then and Ichio thinks that he sees Yuriko and immediately falls for her. So he starts running towards it. He yells that he loves her, but then he's knocked out very quickly. And so like basically then they say that they'll you know everyone will go over the results of the tournament there. And then yeah, so Yukarisu tells Mitsuba that she's getting telepathic messages about someone trying to kill Shocker combatants whose brainwashing broke. So yeah, and then you have Knockout, like his three subordinates want to go to some concert for an idol, to these idols, like this trio of and so he goes there with them after seeing how excited they were, and so and goes to the concert, and then you have the lady who so the female shark who's trying to kill the former ones. So now she appears at the end, their human form. So that's Sam, I guess, the next episode. So yeah, really like these. I really like this episode. Like, it's just so absurd. Like, the show knows how absurd it is. Like, and it leans into it. Like random yelling, like, what's that? That's just an anime trope. Like like it leans into its tropes very well. Like I thought it was freaking funny. Like it knows how dumb it is, but also which is what makes it so good. So yeah, I thought this was a great episode. Looking forward to the next one. Born After the Apocalypse, episode 11. So in this one, so while Yoko and Irie are fishing at Lake Chuzenji, Irie hears like some sound, and then so they then visit Shinjo Gahara and the Toshogu shrine. She asks Yoko to head towards where she heard that sound, and so they follow the sound to the Yoshimi 100 caves. They see some moss there, and then they camp overnight. So Yoko's asleep. Irie hears a sound, and she comes across this cat, and she encounters this object. And like basically, there's this flash, and then you see this dark object. Like there's a portal, so the cat jumps into it. Irie runs from it in fear, but then she's pulled in, and then she ends up in outer space where something communicates with her. Like she doesn't see it, she just hears it in her mind, and she's shown Earth like basically how it looked in the past. And so Irie just reappears in the cave right after inside the hole that she and Yoko were sleeping in, and Yoko's out. She's wondering how she got there, and then Irie said basically the thing must have been a teleportation device, and basically that she explains that what she saw that the 100 Ks were built by humans and aliens 1,500 years ago, and basically those aliens unable like basically they do the way of not being able to communicate like very like directly and having waited 1,500 years. They believe that civilization Earth is still evolving, and then so Yoko and Ari ride the motorcycle up the this the cave stairs to show how humanity has progressed. So the aliens respond like a bright light, then leave a message to through Irie to meet again at the same spot in 100 years. So yeah, so definitely a very unique episode. So the object, it seems like a black hole, whatever, in the essence. Now not like I don't know, like in the way it's like a tiny black hole. Is what I'm thinking it was. Like obviously, like not one to where it was stable enough to where it didn't just destroy the whole Earth. Because if someone were to do like some form of, because all the stuff with dark matter, all the stuff with dark matter, like basically how some people think it could be used for energy and stuff like that. Basically, when if someone messes up dark matter, it could literally destroy the Earth. And that's why some people are concerned with it. Understandable because it's high gravity, like all the gravity stuff associated with it. Basically it's a portal, so it's like a black hole portal, whatever. And so yeah, so it was kind of insane. Like uh like definitely a unique episode. Irie seeing all that stuff. It's like I was like, what the heck am I saw I was like, what the heck am I watching? Like this is like some Forbidden Frontiers type stuff right here. And I'm okay with that. So I thought it was a interesting one of the more interesting episodes this season. How it showed, this object, so basically how it worked. Like obviously you have like these beings that contacted Irie, we don't see them, we don't even really hear them. Like the only one that hears it is Irie. So the viewer doesn't even hear what the beings are saying. The only reason we would know anything what the beings are saying is when Irie repeats it. So I thought this was a very good episode, very interesting. So yeah, I like this episode. Looking forward to the next one. Digimon Beatbreak, episode 11. So in this episode, Asuka's birthday is coming up, so Tomura wants to, you know, buy a gift for him. So some of the other people go along, they go with him. Gekomon wants to help out, but he breaks stuff, causes problems. Like Tomura basically yells at him. Like Gekomon basically just runs away. Like Tomura just tells him to go away, and then you have so when so Gekumon basically Tomura finds him, and then they're attacked. And basically, you have all like the whole group. They're attacked by someone who knows Kyo. I guess from his it's revealed that Kyo was part of the Five Stars. So there's like a scar on his from I guess where he was more ruthless. And so Kyo wants to end peacefully, but so yeah, you were gonna see, and then what happens where Tomura tells Gekomon that he wishes he was never Gekomon was ever born. So Gekomon starts turning dark. You see some like dark aura surrounding him, and he like goes crazy. So yeah, so basically, so yeah, it looks like there's something that happened, like something that's I guess whatever's tying Gekomon and Tomura, like regarding like the data and stuff like that, how it affected Gekomon to turn dark. That's gonna be interesting. So obviously, it's also probably gonna be used to turn him back to like turn him back to like normal. So yeah, so and then yeah, so then you see like basically everyone's shocked at Kyo being a member of the Five Stars. Like that surprised everyone. Then now, yeah, so basically now they're gradually built. So how I guess the dark digivolve, how that works, that's gonna be continues to play a role. So I don't think that's not gonna be the first thing. That's gonna continue to be a thing. And it's revealed that during this bus ride that so Tomura says that basically he and Asuka were on their own after their parents were arrested by the basically by the government. They don't think the parents did anything. Tomura says he doesn't think his parents did anything wrong. Basically, Asuka like dropped out of school and quit his band so that he could take care of Tomura. And so yeah, so basically yeah, so we see some of Kyo's backstory, some more Tomura's backstory. So this is gonna be interesting going forward. Like the fights between the Digimon were cool, and like obviously we're more they're building up. So it's like we got some interesting villains being introduced. So yeah, so basically hmm. So yeah, basically it's like everyone's like what the heck, like everyone's trying. So it's like next episode we're gonna deal with the fallout from the last episode, which makes sense. So I'm interested in how happens next week. So yeah, I really like this episode. Looking forward to the next one. Thomas Jefferson. So this is a documentary miniseries that aired on History Channel in February. I did not know it existed until recently. So watched it. Watched it now. Binge watched it. So yeah. So basically, it's about the life of Thomas Jefferson, like how he grew up. His his school life. Basically the Enlightenment. Basically the American Revolution. Lead up to it, and then his work in politics. Basically when he wrote a summary view of the rights of British America. Then when he wrote the Declaration of Independence, and involvement with the Constitution. And how the two-party system formed under with him leading the Democrat Republicans and Alexander Hamilton leading the Federalists. So like basically and all the stuff he did. Notes on the state of Virginia and all his issue. With his time with his wife. Of course, his wife died, and the of basically you had Sally Hemings, who was a slave. So basically Sally Hemings was the half sister of Jefferson's wife. Now, basically, Martha's father screwed a slave, and that led to Sally being born. And yeah, I mean, that's just that happened, unfortunately. Like, you had slave owners who used slaves for pleasure. That unfortunately that happened a lot. Thomas Jefferson basically used Sally for that. And basically like the way and DNA tests have proven that is what happened. It was always rumored because she would always end up pregnant at whenever he was around. I mean, that's what happened. So, and basically, also, Jefferson's work as, his Washington Secretary of State, and, basically, and so one of the things you have, Jefferson supported France, Hamilton supported Britain when it came to like which nation to favor more. And so basically, yeah, so Jefferson, he was the vice president for John Adams because the way it worked in was second place, whoever in an election, whoever got second place became the vice president. So Jefferson was Adams' vice president, just like Adams was Washington's vice president. Then of course, Jefferson wins in 1800, establishes West Point. He lets the Alien Sedition Act, which was an act passed by John Adams for the basically the purpose of uh like basically like to get the Democrat Republicans basically make their opposition speech against the Federalist Party basically get them arrested. So it violated the Constitution. And so you have, after the Louisiana Purchase, the Lewis and Clark expedition, and then yeah, so of course you have, with the transatlantic slave trade, he put an end to that. You know, basically, so U.S. was no longer involved with it. Domestic slaves were becoming more profitable, and he gains a lot more money after he leaves office. And you have his life. How the War of 1812. His money issues during that time in the Panic of 1819, and how he founded the University of Virginia. So, and then the 50th anniversary Declaration of Independence, he and John Adams died the same day. Now they were rivals, but then later in life they both made amends. Like, because they were once good friends, they you know had issues, but while they disagreed politically, they became like they were able to renew their friendship later in life, and they both died the same day. And 1943, FDR dedicated the Jefferson Monument, and and basically you have so this covers the good and the bad with Jefferson because I mean that's how I mean unfortunately there's in the time period you know I mean yeah I mean there were problems. Yes, slavery was bad. Like it's like I mean I mean basically the way like slavery was done in the U.S. it was terrible. Like they were like and of course around 1865, 13 minute passed, and slavery was outlawed, with the exception of as punishment for a crime. That was the only circumstance in which slavery was allowed, but circumstance that basically never gets used. So basically, in essence, slavery was non-existent, like legally. So yeah, but that was long after Jefferson's death. So so basically, you have yeah, Jefferson owned slaves. There's not really excuse for that. But they also had the good, stuff he did for the nation, helping lead the revolution. I mean, he wasn't fighting though; that was Washington. But yeah, so I mean, this is a very there's not really watching. There didn't seem to be like a necessarily too much of a bias here. It just gave the information, acknowledged like, you know, the good, the bad, you know, it just presented the information. And yeah, there may have been some individuals within the documentary who've had some biases, but this was basically just focused on the facts. This documentary focused primarily on the facts. Hey, this is how things were back then. Doesn't make it right, but this is just how it was, and this is how, and we're just going to present the facts. And yeah, so I thought that was a good thing because that's kind of what you should do. And yeah, and yeah, ones say, hey, look, yeah, you had the faults, but you also had the good things, and like more nuance with this, with looking at history, and that's how we should look at it. So yeah, I thought this was a really good documentary. Did a very good job at covering the information, presenting it, explaining everything. So yeah, I really good. I recommend watching it. And that's it. Did y'all like the stuff I reviewed? And if you have your own opinions about all that, you can put all that in the comments. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and all that. And look forward to the next video.